Hello everyone, Serbucky here, and welcome back to Storm Riders, where it is a beautiful morning here on the island. Now, I have some big plans for today's episode, that I guess following on from the last episode, where we also had it's a big plan series. How about that? But today, I want to go back out into the wild to find Halga. Oh, bugger, 1 second. But yes, I want to defeat Halga because I want that water runestone artifact so that we can build the water runestone to buff our warriors as well as ourselves with some melee combat proficiency. We're playing on Viking difficulty. Remember, things are only going to get harder and harder. Before I head out, as always, I want to put down some buildings for my villagers to work on while I'm out and about. Might as well give them some tasks to do so they're not just standing around idly. And I also need to sort out my backpack because looking at my toolbar, most of what I have is pretty much broken. Starting here at Rusty Tools, I want to build the Weaver, which I have delayed since the SMOLKR incident, but we have gotten a lot of flax in the time in between, mostly from me going out and harvesting a bunch, but we also should be getting a harvest, I think, probably tomorrow. Would be 3 days, probably. So let's pop this down. And that is a tight squeeze, but we left just enough room for that. I'll pretend that I planned to do that this whole time. I didn't plan that, but I'll pretend I planned that. On the other side, I want to put down the leather worker. Although I do have different plans for this particular workshop in the future, I do need to build the leather worker so that I can unlock further buildings. So this is just a temporary placement for now. We'll put that right next door like so. Perfect. And let me just tag them. I want to keep an eye on their status and make sure that our villagers are doing their jobs, because I have my suspicions they're not, but I don't have evidence for that yet. But here at Rusty Tools' storage, yeah, my club is absolutely on it. 2 durability. I could probably sneeze on that and it would explode. Same with my knife, my pickaxe. So let's just grab the 2 spare. I'd rather have too many than too few. Arrange them nicely. I'm not going to need a hoe or a hammer, and I'm not going to need my axe. I want to empty out my bags as much as I can so I can come back with as much as I can. Then, yeah, because my knife and my pickaxe are so busted, I will take a spare one of those each too. And then I'll just drop off my Smolkr horn because that is also taking up a spot that I might need for something better than a Smolkr horn. As for where to go, well, I guess last episode we went south and I didn't see anything, so let's just go north, you know, easy peasy, quick decision skills there. We just pick a direction and run, because we're either going to find it or we're not. Have a little drink for stamina regeneration, and we are off. And look at that, with that chieftain's hut sleeping rested buff, our stamina is not going down. It's kind of like running on a road almost. I think, in fact, if you do run on a road, it is essentially unlimited stamina. Here we are at the coast. There is our shipwreck, but I am not a wight. Or am I? I don't know. I feel like that's what a wight would say. I'm not a wight. Maybe I am a wight all along, and the wights are just friendly, happy people, and I'm the monster. You never really thought about that before now, did you? We found him already. All I had to do was go an extra few feet in the first episode. I would have seen Halga. All right. Hey, buddy. How many hits have I got left in this? Oh, exactly 2. All right. New club. Let's clear this joint. Alright, so I took out a bunch of the nearby sprites as well, and I think that is everyone. I don't see any further wights that are going to be interrupting our little hands-free Halga. Now, this is our safety rock. Remember, when fighting Halga, always know where your safety rock is. Introduce yourself to your safety rock. This is going to be your best friend throughout the fight. And for a backup safety rock, I guess we have those ones over there or the big one here. But you always want a safety rock when you're going for a hands-free Halga. Let's go ahead and pop these little things and give him a good old summon. Alright, so we want him to charge us, and he is doing that now. If he doesn't charge you right away, just give him a few good slaps, and that's why this is now called the hands-free Halga-ish. And always roll away, don't get greedy. Especially if you, like me, are butt naked and have 0 armor, he will absolutely tear through your health. So wait for him to attack and try your best to get the follow-up. If you don't get the follow-up, don't get greedy. Just don't be greedy bastard. And he is now stunned because he is a silly bastard. So now we can be a little bit... Oh my god, that was so close. Oh, we can be a little bit greedy is what I was going to say. Maybe we shouldn't be a little... Just don't be greedy at all. Yeah, I think that's the message I'm trying to convey. And then when he starts walking, get a hit in, roll away. You want to make sure that his stamina bar doesn't fill all the way back up by just tapping him. You could even punch him if you want. Oh, he has a sliver of stamina left, so now let's go ham again. Also, if you want to finish with a heavy attack, absolutely fine. Get that extra bit of damage in if you can, but never start with a heavy attack. The second you heavy attack, he is going to fall on his ass and stand up immediately and get all of his stamina back. So you're better off doing the standard melee attacks first and finishing either, you know, if it just happens to finish, or with a heavy attack at the end. Oh my god, what happened? You absolute cheating bastard. Almost there. Don't get greedy, Bucky. No, 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 no. Oh, okay. Okay. It could have all gone very, very badly. Very, very quickly. How about then? Yeah, honestly, he's just going to tucker himself out in a minute. I don't even have to do anything further. That would never not be hilarious to me. Oh, Halga, you absolute donkey. It might just be because I haven't fought him in a really long time, but he felt quite easy, actually. Like, his health, I know he absolutely chunks you if he hits you with the charge, but his health seemed to go down a lot more than I remember it going down when he would headbutt a rock. But there is our water artifact, and now we have unlocked the water runestone, which is going to be really, really helpful for us and also our villagers. Good leisure, good proficiency buff, just a good thing all round. You always want to prioritize the water runestone, in my opinion, at least. All right, I'm going to harvest up the rest of the Ys. They might drop some more Jotun blood, and you do always want to harvest up the corpses. I can hear Bluggerstein in the back of my mind harvesting the corpses. Please, Bucky. So I'm going to go and do that. It helps out with the FPS as well. And then, yeah, I'll head back home with my spoils of victory and probably grab some Jotun blood flax and stuff on the way home. But I'll see you there. Bye-bye. You know what? I'm actually going to harvest up the large stones as well. I had no idea if this is the case, but I want to help save as many frames as I can from the game having to render, or at least remember there's a bunch of large stones out here, at least ones that aren't part of the natural environment. And we are a bit too far away, I think, for my stonecutter to come out here and grab them. So, yeah, I don't know if it's helpful. Let me know if it's something you do. But, yeah, I'm just going to harvest up all of the large stones into small stones so I can take everything that I've interacted with back with me again, just so that the game doesn't have to remember these things are out here. And I think that's it, really. That's as much as I can carry. I got exactly one spot left, so we'll just save that for some flax overflow potentially. Let's go home. Let's go home and celebrate a victory over Halga the Relentless, who was quite relentlessly throwing himself against the safety rock. Remember, get yourself a safety rock. Hello everyone, I'm back. I defeated Halga. No one's here. Nobody cares. All right, let's offload all of the crap that I have in my backpack, all of the bones and the stones and the bits and bobs. And my small stone storage is completely full. I should probably start building roads. I should also probably build a few more storages here. And although many of you might say there's plenty of room, there's not plenty of room if you like your warehouses looking pretty. What am I going to do? I'm just going to dump all of the rest of the crap on the floor here. It's on the warehouse. It's not going to break. It's not going to go missing. It's technically stored. It's just not stored, you know, properly. Besides, rather counterintuitively, it's safer on the floor from the Smolkrs than it is in a box. Hang on, there's something I need to do at Rusty Tools. But I have literally just forgotten what it was. Hang on. Brain. Oh my god. Oh, I know Editor Bucky's gonna leave this in because he's a jerk. He's an absolute smoker horde. I got it. I got it. It's, oh my god. He's just gonna let me embarrass myself. I know it. I'm laughing. It's not tears. I'm not crying. Up here in the residential district, I want another cottage. It's time for another cottage. It's time to grow our village population a little bit, but it's also about time that I make good on one of the things I said I was going to do and make a garden as well, which I cannot do with a tree stump in the way. Although it would be nice if we could sit on tree stumps, have a nice little tree stump seat, but alas, that makes far too much sense. Okay, anyway, I want to start with the cottage first because then I'll know how much room I have to work with for the garden. So let's go ahead, flatten out this land, get rid of some of these annoying little boulders. This trick still works and is again one of my favorite things in the game. I do like the big boulders. I say this all the time, probably too much, but I do like the big boulders, but the little ones can bugger right off. So one more here. Done. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and mark a large area to be flattened. And it might look a little bit wonky, but again, we will take the road maker at some point and finesse it all out. And for anyone wondering how I got my landscaping tool to be that big, the answer, of course, is Grimm's Builder Buddy. It's a really good mod. It's not cheaty, it's convenience. They showed up on the last bloody one. I had to do everything myself, and then they showed up on the last bloody one. Bloody villagers. Anyway, about the cottages, here's what we're not going to do, right? We are not going to be putting down all of our houses in a row as if we are building it in Microsoft Excel or we're playing SimCity 2000. I want to start making things look a little bit organic, ignoring the fact that I'm leveling the landscape and it's ridiculous right now, but I want to start making things look a little bit more organic. So I want to have things at an angle, I want to have winding paths, things like that, you know, just the little degrees of wonkiness that make you look at something and say, oh yeah, that looks more natural, you know, because that is a typical reaction when people see stuff like this, I've been told. Hang on a minute, something is a little bit weird with my builders. They're scheduled for daytime, so they work until 8 o'clock, and it's currently 7 o'clock, so they are still working. If I tag the cottage, they'll start working. But if I untag the cottage, they'll stop working. That is really weird. So it's not tagged right now. They're supposed to be working. And if I tag it again, they'll start working again. What the heck is going on there? That is bizarre. I have absolutely no idea what I've done to break that or what the game's done to break that. But as they say in my Discord channel quite a lot, that's just ASKA things. Okay, so with the landscaping for the cottage finally done, bugs, you know, notwithstanding, let's go ahead, add a little bit more leveling to where I want the garden to be. And then when it comes to the runestone, This is going to be temporary because we are going to be replacing the cottage with a longhouse eventually. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm thinking having the runestone pushed back a little bit so we can have a bit of a front of garden. And then this will be towards the back of the garden and the fence will loop around the outside. So we can have 2 entrances to this sort of like leisure area. And I can see it in my head. Maybe I'm not describing it that well. So how about I just build it and I'll show you it. How about that? And I just reversed the task order. I'd rather the runestone be made first, although everyone's now finished their shifts. So it's probably, I could do it in the night. I could do it by myself before they wake up. It's just a sled and a bunch of rocks. Okay, that took all night, but the garden is done and I am definitely not losing my mind right now. It doesn't look exactly how I imagined it. I did run out of sticks, so there's a couple of trips down to the beach, and we don't have the fancy decorations yet. We don't have the ivy fences, the ivy arches, but it's a start, you know? And I can see that the villagers are still working on the cottage, so the bug has either fixed itself or they're just listening to the tags. That's good. Let's go ahead and summon our next villager. Neither of these are jumping out of me. We don't technically need another crafter. You just need the one to level up so you can unlock the recipes. But that Winter Huntsman perk might be good if she comes with either Wildling or the Retired Bowman perk. You know, so I guess we'll go with Ebba as a potential archer. But depending on the other 3 hidden skills, Storm Rider Unease ×3 maybe, he might be better suited somewhere else. Although I am kind of keeping an eye out for a terrible villager who I can name Kyle and stuff at a warehouse. I don't want to have named subscribers or members working the boring jobs. But I just have to keep an eye out for Kyle. Anyway, let me grab my tools and weapons that I left on the floor here so that I could carry more sticks last night. And crack on, get this cottage built, and then switch gears to a couple of other things I want to do this episode. I feel like I need to do this episode before the misfortune hits in the next episode. You know what? We'll add one more quick thing. I always say this in my tips video. I want to add a Yule tree for that 50 area desirability. We'll just throw one of these in real quick. You should always, 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 and one more time, always have a Yule tree within range of your houses. It is just such a massive one-time big boost. All the other ones you build after the first one do have diminishing returns, but definitely always, seriously now, honestly, always. Did I mention always? Always put a Yule tree down. I'm being serious right now. Oh, yes. A tree really does tie everything together. Let's go ahead and move Andorra into the cottage. Only you're not Andorra. You are going to be Echo. Welcome, Echo. Nice to have you here. That reminds me, actually, the villager we summoned in the night, I did not rename. Astrid, you are 11. And no, it's not a reference to Stranger Things, because I think I'm one of the only people on the planet who hasn't finished watching it, because I won't forgive them for what they did to Samwise Gamgee. I need to do something now for Sherry. Sherry is absolutely killing it as our chef, but she is having to run all the way to the farm and back every time she needs to make something. So the next thing... Hello, Ebba. The next thing I need to do is make Sherry her own little storehouse. I don't really have a lot of room over here, and I don't want to get rid of that Jotun blood. I've grown quite fond of it there in the middle of the village. But I also don't think I can keep it because there really isn't enough room. And I don't need a fully sized 3-long warehouse. I just need the one. It's just going to be for raw and cooked food until we eventually separate them. So it only needs to be 1 warehouse square. But again, I just don't think I have the room. Maybe we could move. Ooh, you know what? You know what though? We can get rid of the water well. Because we are using the Builder Buddy mod and I don't regret it. But we can get rid of the water well. And we'll just pop it down here. I mean, we're still building it. I don't see what the difference is between it being here versus there. I understand how water tables work. I'm pretty sure that's how they work. There's water underneath the table. And this gets there. We'll pop you in like that. It's important to me that Sherry doesn't have to do too much walking, but it's also important to me that our villagers, you know, get the food they need. And if Sherry's more efficient, our villagers are going to be better for it. Can it still fit? Oh, it can. It can still fit. That is extremely lucky. I like that. I like that a lot. Right, get to work, guys. Are they doing that thing again? If I press Q again, take it off the pin, they stop working. What is that? That's new. That's a new bug and that's seriously annoying. But while they get to work, I need to come back over here and summon another villager, obviously. Who have we got this time? Oh. It's the Squiggly Line twins. Good God. My luck has run out. So many people are going to be happy right now that my villager luck has run out. Chill sensitive, resilient surge, Storm Rider, unease, Storm Rider, unease. You know what? You know what, game? I'm going to call your bluff. I bet you one of these 3 hidden perks is going to be fan-bloody-tastic. I'm leaning into it. I've had enough of the Storm Rider and ease. Mark my words, that villager is going to be the best. I promise you. And somebody asked me, actually, in the comments of the last video, or one of the last videos, why do I only put 6 beds in a cottage when you could absolutely cram them in? I don't do that because as much, as much as I make fun of my villagers, I kind of care for them. I like them to be happy. I like things to look a little bit more realistic. It's something that I strive to do in my gameplays, in my presentations. And although you can absolutely pack them in wall to wall with beds, and that's super efficient if you want to go that route, super efficient. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just have the build philosophy of make it look pretty, make it look functional. That's the direction I take, at least. Okay, let's help out and get Sherry's storehouse up and running, because that is a priority, getting that whole raw food to cooked food production chain working much better, and we're out of stones. Bugger, that's going to slow me down. Don't do it! Don't harvest the chosen Jotun blood. No, I'm not going to do it. We'll have to find something else. Well, there's stones right here. Why hasn't the stone cutter come right here 5 meters away from where he works? Oh, because this exact area... this exact area is not covered by a flag. Ah, these flags. Bloody flags. Look at Sherry. She knows what's up. She knows she's getting a brand new warehouse just for her. So let's go ahead and put down the storages that I want here. Let's start off with some raw food storages, 1, 2, 3, and then some cooked food storages, 1, 2, 3. And it looks like our builders are wrapping up the last few beds in the cottage. So while they do that, let's name the newest arrival that I've forgotten to do. If I can find them. So Ebba, you are blue. I actually have no interest in helping them, but now that we only have 5 builds left, I'm going to go ahead and tag them, since you can only tag 5 things at once. And then while they wrap these up, I'm just going to go out and get a couple handfuls of Jotun blood, because we do have a couple more beds in the cottage, and so if I can keep summoning a few more people, that'd be much better use of my time.
My dad say that 4 hours have passed.
They are finishing up the last couple of cooked food storages, which means that warehouse is good and ready for a worker. And I did consider having a market route bringing the raw vegetables from the farm to the warehouse, but then we'd need a warehouse worker at the farm warehouse anyway, so I thought, why not just split the difference? And another thing that I thought about when I was on my way back is if we get rid of one of the raw food silos, we can instead put up a fish rack, and then the market worker will be able to save Sherry another trip in getting the fish and bringing them back here, which is just going to be a lot more efficient. And I will eventually be putting a barbecue pit down to have that whole cook the meat first before using it in recipes, but that might be a nighttime thing. But we will be doing market routes eventually. We just need more people to spare and sort of like more goods to ship around first. We'll get there. We'll get there, surely. Love it. Okay, that makes more sense. So who was the guy who just arrived? They weren't that great. Arvid. No proficiencies. Resilient Surge, that's a good one. Storm Rider Unease. Wind Rider, that's okay. Chill Sensitive, crap. Stone Clemency. So Arvid is our official, very first named, crowned, ordained Kyle. Now everything's going to go downhill. This is the turning point. The luck is ended. Now the Kyles are coming. And what better job to put Kyle in charge of than handling the food? I really hope he washes his hands. May as well give him a house. He'll have to earn it, though. I got my eye on you, Kyle. One slip up, and you are gone. All right, let's summon another villager. And, of course, I only have 4 Jotun blood left over. I didn't count when I was getting them. I just saw that they were almost done with the building and decided to go back. That is so typical. That is so typical. We're getting him. We're doing it again. Every time I see a Storm Rider Unease, I'm taking it out of spite. We're past the turning point now. It's muppetry and nonsense from here on. Over here at the raw food silo, I want to break it up so I don't end up with a billion blubber and things like that. So I'm just going to turn on the 5 crop vegetables and set them to 100 each, which would be the 500 storage limit. And hello, where are those bastards? They are not in our... Ooh, thank God they're not. What have we got here? 868 fibers. So good. Oh, look at all this produce that isn't going to get eaten because you've already chosen that misfortune. Well, okay, the Smolkrs aren't out here. Where are they? Ooh, you better not be going after raised fish. They are not going to be happy with you. That little scream makes me laugh. Right, let's open the gate. Close the gate. I should have made a little pen while I was at it. This is technically not enclosed. Oh, get back here, you little shit. Oh, you silly bastard. All right, 1. Oh, hey, the double hitting of a target is back. It's so wrong. Here we go. Come on. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, it is 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to take a quick nap in case we get a blood moon, although I don't think you get a blood moon on the day that you get another event, but better to be safe than slapped around and sorry. Mind you, we got a big old thunderstorm right now, and that makes me feel like there might be a blood moon. I don't think they're related, having a storm meaning you're going to get a blood moon that night, but it wouldn't surprise me. There was one in over here. There we go. Yep, I remember. Barely. Okay, well, 10 o'clock has come and gone, so there's not going to be a blood moon tonight. I am, therefore, going to just busy myself with a few of the more mundane tasks like usual, starting by renaming Frederick. Frederick is... Storm Rider unease. Battlescarred Veteran's good though. Wind Rider, Rocker, and Soggy Discomfort. Just got the worst two, didn't he? Storm Rider unease and Soggy Discomfort. Absolute travesty. You are Kyle the Second. All right, I'm going to take the opportunity while everyone's asleep to teach Sherry the wonders of meat soup and meat stew, as well as fish stew. While we wait for that to cook, how are the archers coming along, by the way? 24 and 15. Not too bad. Tabitha, you can get promoted, I guess. Tabitha, you can now become our first hunter. Proficiency. Tabitha, where are you? There you go. Perfect. And task-wise, yeah. We want to do the fen first, followed by demons, and I think the males would be a little bit better to hunt first for potential horns. And remember to turn the meat hunks off so that we get the raw red meat harvested out of the wild, saving the hunters a lot of time and back and forth. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and change that to 4 because they'll just get picked up and put in storage. And you know what? We'll change that to 8 and 8. How about that? And I should probably think about getting a nighttime cook soon. Although, we just need more villagers. I think Sherry can manage for a few more days. What is it they say about a watched pot never boils? Something like that. I want to quickly try making some meat soup with cooked meat. Because a couple of people have been saying in the comments lately that cooked meat can no longer be used in your cooking recipes, which I made a big point about being efficient in my big cooking tier food guide. So I really hope it hasn't changed. But it wouldn't surprise me if it has, because every time I mention something, the devs change it. Boy, I really like that we don't have a corpse harvester job. No, it still works. You can still make meat soups and fish soups with cooked meat. Thank Odin. But that is going to be a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Did a lot of progress today, and I think we're almost there in terms of being able to head out towards the mine and making our outpost to kickstart our iron production. But that will have to wait until another episode because I am absolutely tuckered out. So just like my villagers, I am going to go to bed.